Hey guys, Logan here. Yeah, I just want to start with Battlefield 6 Open Beta. Huge success. There's no doubt about that. Many people agree with me here, and I had so much fun playing with my friends, with the community, and hearing all this happiness all around me. It really warms my heart. Today we got a community briefing on Battlefield 6 from the developers about stuff they learned from the open beta and what changes we can expect when the game launches on October 10. So today we're taking a closer look at those changes, and I will let you know everything that I think you need and want to know. Let's go. For weapons, they are making adjustments to recoil, and that means a general checkup on how the recoil and tap firing will work for all weapons. They are taking another look at how weapons should feel unique and improving the variations between weapons when it comes to, range differences. You shouldn't be able to take an SMG and shoot a guy 200 meters away. That's not an easy task. And the well-needed nerf for that shotgun is coming. That was pretty known right away. When the full game launches, it will take a lot more pellets to get a kill with the shotgun. And lastly, they are taking a look at, time to kill, time to death. They're investigating some situations right there. So perhaps some changes for the launch for the time to kill and time to death. Now, let's talk about the movement in the game. I know I've read several posts and hearing about feedback that Battlefield 6 movement might feel like, Call of Duty like. I don't really agree with that, but they are making some changes for the Battlefield 6 movement before launch. This is what the briefing says. Momentum, especially horizontal speed, carried over from slide into jump, has been reduced. And trying to spam the jump will result in slower and lower jumps, so no need doing that. Also, sliding and jumping while you're shooting will result in a lower accuracy, and that's pretty logical. And speaking of movement here, we have parachutes. They have been tweaked a bit. They will reduce the initial acceleration when opening that chute for more controllable movement. Now, moving over to maps. You might have noticed there were players that found their way up to rooftops or maybe bridges where they were not supposed to be, and there was no gameplay intended to occur up there. And the developers are working on adjustments to prevent this from happening and keep players where the gameplay is intended to be. And this includes the upcoming, ladder gadget. They are absolutely taking a look on how that is supposed to work to prevent misuse. Also, there were a lot of comments about, map size, how the maps were very small and the community wanted to try bigger maps. But trust me, there are very large maps coming at launch of the game on October 10, so don't need to worry about that. We are about to be testing some bigger maps in Battlefield Labs, testings of the maps called Mirak Valley, I think that's the biggest one, and Operation Firestorm, the old one from Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, is coming back in this game. So bigger maps are of course coming with more vehicles. Okay, let's talk about modes in the game. And they're taking a look at several modes and how player counts and stuff like that. But Rush is much talked about here. The golden era of 12v12 and 16v16 and similar stuff, that was great. I totally agree with that. But they're also taking in, how the map plays out into consideration here. So exactly how many players are being tested across maps and modes to see exactly what fits. And remember that we are going to have Portal in Battlefield 6. So if you want to mess around and have a lot of players or very few players on a Rush map, sure, we can do that in Portal as well. As I said, this applies to many modes and not just Rush. For example, at launch, some breakthrough maps will have featured 48 players, and some other breakthrough maps will feature 64 players, so it might differ depending on, map and layout. But everything to deliver the best gameplay experience. Now for last, let's put the image right up here and take a look at those numbers. We have some records set during the biggest Battlefield beta in history. There are a lot of killings going on, I see, and many rounds played. Looks like Assault class was the most used class, followed by Support, Engineer, and lastly Recon. And yeah, of course they're gonna show us how many helicopters that were destroyed. A bit over 9.5 million helicopters was taken out. That sounds expensive. So for some ending words here, what do I feel about Battlefield 6 and the beta? I feel really good about this beta. It really was the best beta of any game I ever played. Of course, there were some issues, but nothing game-breaking, not for me at least. And yeah, maybe that hideous shotgun maybe. But remember, this is a beta test. The developers are testing features to make sure that they work like they should at launch. That's very important. And during this beta test, they have gathered so much intel and feedback, and that's awesome to make the game as good as it can be. But now I want to know what you think about Battlefield 6, the open beta. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for everything new to Battlefield. Hit that like, I really much appreciate that. Now share this video with a friend and hope to see you in my next one. This is Logan, signing out.